Hi, so I wanted to create a really quick tutorial for how you can animate your character or basically modify the animations of your character really quickly in Unreal without having to export the animations or go to some other software or maybe even try to modify the animation rotating each bone. Basically what we're gonna do is use the control rig for the mannequin IK or the mannequin character, and then we're gonna use that to modify animations without having to rotate every bone. Now if you have a custom character that doesn't use the mannequin skeleton, you might not have the control rig, so you could try to create that yourself, or even you can use a similar method like I'm gonna show you here to kind of do the harder way of animation, which is FK, basically moving each bone instead of having control points. So let's start. Let's go to cinematics, level sequence. Let's open it up. I'm gonna select the character. I just added the character to 000 just to have it in the level. Let's right click and convert to spawnable. That's just gonna make it be connected to this specific sequence. First, what I'm gonna do is delete this control rig. So the control rig is gonna be re-added when we attach the animations to that control rig. So if I add animation, let's select walk. And we also need to decrease the size here. I'm just gonna zoom in a bit. So basically now we have the walk animation, but this is directly on the character skeleton. So what we want to do is transfer this animation to the control rig. That way we can then modify the control rig. So let's right click here, bake the control rig, and we can use sear mannequin body. This is already pre-made for us for the mannequin. And then we have options for baking. I usually enable reduce keys, so any redundant keys will be reduced. So kind of a little optimization thing, you don't have to do it if you don't want. Let's create, and now we can see how our control rig is re-added, but now it has keyframes because we basically transfer this animation to the control rig. Now what we want to do is click on section and additive. Additive means this this section is going to be added to whatever this main part is. So we have that. Now a bit confusing thing is that naming can stay the same, so we can change this to maybe, let's say, group, and then we can say main, and then we can do, let's say, left. So let's say we want our character to lean left, but we don't want to spend too much time on it. We just want a quick fix. Also you can enable auto keyframes. That might make it easier a bit, but then I can select his body and then maybe rotate him like this. Of course, you would have to do more work on the legs. So for my characters, I have this lean left and lean right when the character walks, and this is kind of how I did it. Now I'm not gonna show you every detail how to animate, but you can see how we easily just rotated the whole body, and now the character is looking to the left. And if we wanted to do this another way, where we rotate the each bone, it will be way harder, because you can see how when we rotate, also the legs rotate, everything is relative to the body. This is nicely rigged, so everything looks really nice when it's rotated. So doing this by hand would be very complicated. Let's remove this guy. And now let's say we created our lean left animation. What we can do is, let's first create a new one. So let's add another section, additive. I'm gonna rename this to the right. And let's mute this one so we don't see that animation. And now we have the right one. I'm just gonna increase the size. And now let's rotate to the right. I'm just gonna keyframe this. And now we can see that we have different animations. Now that you have these animations, what you can do is click right click in here and then bake animation sequence. So this way you're gonna get the same animation asset you had for the walk. Now you're gonna have it for the walk right. I'm just gonna put it directly in the content. Let's name it walk walk right. And we get some options. Usually you don't have to worry about this unless you're doing something very specific. Then we need to unmute this and then mute this. Of course, since they are additive, you can also combine them. So maybe you want to create some combinations where maybe one of these groups is character raising the hand, another is maybe character getting rotated, maybe another is head, and then you can kind of combine them if you want. So you notice that when I unmuted this, he's kind of looking at the middle. That's because we are combining the left rotation and right rotation, which is basically getting the middle rotation. So let's mute this. We can do the same thing. Walk left. And now let's close this up. I'm gonna go back to my content. And now we can see we have the walk left and walk right character animation.